Okay, let's come back. I was teaching you about database. Okay, see, whenever you are dealing with database, you should know what a database is. It's nothing but a storehouse. It's a storehouse of data. Okay, it will be containing the required data. Whenever you want, you go to database, you get it, and you do processing of that data. Okay. Now you see how the data will be stored in this. There are two different kinds of databases. One is SQL and another is NoSQL. Okay, SQL means structured query language, and NoSQL means some database which is not based on SQL. Okay, it can be much more than that. For this example is MongoDB. Will not be learning this one. We'll be learning this SQL, which is a very old method of storing data, and this is more efficient also. This you will learn in your third sem, but I'll tell you now. For this we will be learning MySQL. Okay, for learning this one you will require one database and another database server. Okay, and another database management system. You see, we have got three things. One is database server, and database management system. What this database management system will do, it will contain all these things. It will contain these two things in it. Whenever you want to create a database, you can create using this DBMS tool. You cannot directly interact with a database. This is going to help you to create a database, and whenever you want to add some data into the database, you will be using it. Now I'll show you how you will be doing that one. Now if you look at my screen, let me show you in the task manager. I was trying to show you this only. If you go to services in the system, you scroll down somewhere here, HIJKLM. You can see MySQL 80, MySQL server. Okay, these things are running in the system. It means I can use this MySQL for storing the data or creating the database, creating the table. Okay, got it. Now what we will do is, now I will tell you little bit about MySQL. MySQL is a database. Now see, database will contain many tables. Okay, now if you consider it is a school database. School database will contain so many tables. One table is of students, and another table is of teachers. Another table is of employees, other employees, non-teaching staff or something, or another table something related to spending of the school. So many things. See, one database will contain all these tables, and this table will contain some headers and then data. Now student will have student name, roll number, and age, and all these things, right? And here we'll have student details. In the same way, teacher name, teacher ID, or teacher phone number, all these things will be included here. Employees other than teaching staff, so many details, and this is the detail. Okay, all these things will be there in the database. I'll teach you how you can create a database, how you can create a table. Okay, now let me go to a software called as MySQL Workbench. It will look like this. Whatever you are able to see here, you see here this allocation demo, KSET analysis, milk records, my test, practical dummy, practical exam, school, sys tester, all these are called databases. Okay, now let me create a database. You can see here I have got school. Let me drop this, drop now. See, I have dropped it because I am going to create a fresh database with a name school. Okay, you can create it graphically, but I'll teach you how you can write queries. You can see this, create a new SQL tab for executing queries. Queries means they are just simple sentences they are going to give command to the database to do this work. Okay, I'll show you one simple command: create database, create database, and you need to give the database name and give a semicolon. As soon as I enter this and execute this, okay, you can see here create database school, and if I refresh, I'll be able to see this school here. You got it? I had deleted it, but when I entered this particular query, I could create this particular database. Okay. Now I have created this database, this one, this bigger database. For that, what I have written? Create database school. I have created a school database, and you need to know inside school we will be having tables. For creating table, you see, now I am going to create a student table. For that, you should know what all details we are going to fill in the table. This is our student table. Okay. In this, what all details we require, you need to know that first. First one will require a ID for a student, and second one name, and then age. Okay, and then email. Okay, only these are the details that we are going to take about a student. We don't want much detail, because whenever you are inserting, it will be a bit difficult. This is just for your understanding purpose. I have created a school database. In that, I am going to create a table, and you need to understand this particular ID is a primary key. What is a primary key? It can identify each row, each student row uniquely. Now you think there is a possibility that we can have two Manoj, three Manoj in our class. So we cannot consider. Now if somebody come and ask, where is Manoj? Who is Manoj? When you go and search in the database, there will be one Manoj, two Manoj, three Manoj. You will not know which one. But if I give them a roll number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it will be unique, right? If somebody come and say roll number 2, it will be only one person. This ID is called primary number because these numbers can uniquely identify all the rows. Okay, and this ID we are going to declare, and you need to write what is the data type of all these. Whenever you are creating a table, you need to write the data type of this one, and this one, and this one. Okay. Anybody any doubt in this one? I'll show you how you can write that query. Okay, fine. We'll go to the workbench, and you can remove this, and you can start writing the table. Create. For creating database, we'll write create database. For creating a table, write create table, and then table name student. Okay, and give the symbol, give parenthesis, and I'm going, first column of mine is ID. You see here, first column is ID, so I'm going to create ID. And what is the data type of ID? It is int, and then it is auto increment. See, if you want, you can introduce int as manually typing, or if you introduce auto increment, there will not be any mistake. It will make sure that it will not allocate same roll number, same IDs to the students. Okay, I have written auto increment, and it is actually your primary key. I have already explained you what is primary key. Okay, these are the things about ID. Now I'll go to the next one, name. After writing the column name, you are going to write what is the data type of the column name. Var. Okay, let varchar. It is going to be variable character. Okay, varchar, and here you will give length of the varchar. Some of the students may have 100 letters, so 100. If you want, you can give 50. If you want, you can give 10. But if you give 10 names like mine, which is having around 18 letters, it will not be able to fit. Okay, and so not null. This will tell that whenever you are adding data, you should make sure that it should not be null. Okay, and here we'll give a comma, and then next age. After writing the column name, we are going to write the data type of that int. It is not that you have to write small letter or capital letter, you can use any of the letter that is same, and not null. Okay, not null. And then next one I am going to write email, email, and this is also going to be varchar, varchar. Okay, varchar, and you need to mention the length of the varchar. It is 100, and then it should be unique. You see, you should be unique. You should not have two persons giving the same email. So I am writing unique, not null. Okay, these all are restrictions on filling the data. Okay, whatever you have written here, auto increment, primary key, not null, they all are restrictions or constraint, we can call it as. Means what they say, whenever you are entering the name, it should not be null, means it should not be empty. Whenever you are entering age, it should not be empty, and whenever you are writing email, it should not be same for two persons. So I have written unique. Okay, and then that's all. We'll close this one. Okay, now you see I have created this particular table, and while creating you need to understand each and every word why we are using this. Auto increment for increasing this id, and then primary key, I am saying that this is going to be our primary key which can uniquely identify each and every row. And to execute this you will be using control enter. Okay, you see here, create table students id int. Actually you got a wrong symbol. Now we'll try to identify what is the problem in this. Lilla, no, no, actually last one you will not require comma, but you see what is the problem. It is saying that no database, you see it is giving you error, no database selected. Now if you want to add a table, you should know that you should select a database. You can see here all these databases are there, but we have not selected one database. For using one database, what you can do is you can write here use school, and you click enter. You can see now school is highlighted. Okay, use school, it will highlight the school. Now you go and execute this query. Now you see, create this particular table will be created. You go to the school and check here. Let's refresh. Now you see in the tables you can see students, and you can, if you enlarge this, you will be able to see columns. In the columns you will see id, name, age, and email. You got it? This is the way you create database and the table. Okay, you can use this method for it, but you will require some of the softwares like this. You will have to use MySQL and then MySQL management system. Okay, and here I am using MySQL Workbench to deal with this one. Now what we will do after creating this database, you see first step was to create a database, and then second one, our second step was to create a table in the database, table in database. I have created. Now I want to add some details into it, add some data. Now I want to add some 3 students name, email, and age. For that what you can do, you can actually remove this and write, that is also works fine. Otherwise you go here, click, and you will get one more SQL query. For that what you will do, you will be using one more query, insert into what, which table, student table. Insert into students, and I need not write id here because id is auto increment. After some time you will come to know how id is auto increment. I am going to give input for name, and then age, and then email. Okay, and I will be passing the values here, values. Okay, In the values place, I'll be writing, okay, first one, I'll be writing some, okay, Suhail, this is the name, comma, it is a name field, comma, age 19, comma, you see, I have given this one, I have given single quotes here because name is actually a varchar, variable character, okay, and age is actually an integer, so I have not given single quotes. I hope this is visible to everyone. And now I need to give mail suhail@gmail.com. Okay, this is just a dummy one. Now you see, and give a semicolon. Now if I execute this, I should be able to see this detail in this particular table, students table. Now for executing this, you will hold control and enter. We can see here, insert into students table, one row is affected. Okay, now I am going to add another student name, Praveen. Okay, age okay 19, and then some email. Okay, Praveen. Okay, this is our data, and again control enter. Got it? Second row affected. And then next I can take anybody's Madan, age 18, and then Madan. Now if I click enter again, this is going to add, you can see first one Suhail, Praveen and Madan, all these three are added and one row affected, and it is successful. Now I have put all these details, and how will you see these details in the database is, you will write another query, and that is select star from table name, that is students. Okay, if I click enter, you will be able to see ID 1 Suhail 19, email 2 Praveen 19 Praveen, okay, 3 Madan 18, all these details you are able to see, right? If you want to add another detail, you can go here, edit this, you can add some name, okay, Aradhya 18, then Aradhya, something like this, and you just enter. Now it is inserted successfully, you can see this, and if you go back here, you see select star from students. Now I have got only 3 details. Execute it once again, you will be able to see 4 details. You got it? How you will be adding data into the database? You will be using queries to create a database, to add a database into it, okay, to add details into it. Now we have done the third step. We have created database, in that we have created a table and then added data in. Okay, anybody any doubt in this one? If you have got doubt, you can ask me, because this is actually related to database, and if you understand this one, you will be able to create any database, but you need to have good understanding of primary key, foreign key. As of now I am not teaching foreign key. Now I should teach you database connection. Okay, maybe I'll be taking 10 more minutes. Fine. Okay, good to go. Now sir, what is the difference between primary key and unique? Okay, that's a good question. Now if you see here, this primary key is going to help us identify each row uniquely, and here also this is also going to help, this is also helping us to identify each row uniquely, because I have mentioned it is unique. Now you see what will happen if I try to add this data. If I try to add Praveen, okay, is it Praveen or Praveen? Okay, Praveen. If I try to add this data, you will see a error here. You can see insert into database duplicate entry Praveen@gmail.com. You got it? If you give unique, it will not be adding the data into database if it is duplicate. Now actually you can actually use this particular column as a primary key, but always primary key will be much simpler one, and primary key will be used as foreign key in the another table. If you learn foreign key, you will understand this primary key will be used in another table. For example, if you have created another table for exams, okay, let me give simple example. If you have created another table for exams, in that you will be having student details. For that you will be using only ID of the student and not full student details. If I write 1, it is known that it is Suhail, and Suhail has got, now I write DS here. In DS he has got 20. In what is this, in Java he has got some 18. All these details will be stored in front of 1. This 1 is actually a foreign key here, means this 1 will be referring to the value that is there in the student table. Okay, and here you will not be able to use email because email is not primary key in that table. Got it? I hope you are clear, Priyanka. Okay, fine. Now what we will do, we'll go for connecting this particular database with our front end. Okay, what for that, what we will do, already I have told you, whenever you are creating some application, go here. I'll be creating school. It is not that you should create it school only. I can create with any name, just school A I will do, and I'll go and open it in Visual Studio Code. Yes, it has opened. Now already I have told you there are some things that you need to follow. Now if you want to access backend, already I have told you, if you want to access database, you need to create a backend. For backend we will be using Express.js. If you want to use Express.js, you must have Node.js in your system, and you will be first checking whether Node.js exists in the system or not. Okay, now it is taking some time. Okay, now for testing whether Node.js works or not, node hyphen c. Now Node.js exists, npm hyphen v. Yes, this also exists. So now what we can do, you can create a node application. For that, npm init. Npm init means npm initialize by saying yes for all, hyphen y is yes for all. Okay, as soon as I click this, I'll be able to get a package.json. Okay, and now what is our goal? Already we have created a database in the backside, and I want to build a backend. And if you want to connect this backend with this, I will require an application running here in the backend part. For that I will be using Express. Okay, so I will be installing Express.js. For installing Express, I have told you npm install Express. Okay, this is the first thing that we want to install. And then for using this MySQL database, you will require one more library or package or module, that is MySQL2. Okay, I'll write MySQL2, and then I'll require EJS and another one body parser. You will come to know why I am using body parser. Okay, if I click enter, you will be able to see here one more object being created. All these things will be installed. Okay, now it started installing. You will see a folder getting created here, node modules. It is all automatic. I am not doing anything. Whenever you install this, all these things will be installed in this particular folder. And if you check the size of this application, it will be around 400-500 MB. Okay, you got it? Already I have explained this part so many times, even in the class and in the yesterday's class. That only you have to follow, but you should make sure that whatever you will require for running application, that should be installed. Okay, Now you can see node module file is created here, and now it is going to install these things: Express, MySQL2, EJS and body parser. Okay, let it install. Till then, let me create a server page, server.js. For in server.js, already I have told you, we will be creating a Express application. Express is equal to require Express. Okay, after this you are going to declare a variable for MySQL is equal to require. You see which all modules you require in this particular file, you need to import it. Okay, that is MySQL2. See, this is the module name and this is the variable. If you want, you can write 2, no problem, but we'll keep it simple. Okay, and then next, const body parser is equal to require body parser. You will understand why we are using body parser. Whenever you send a request or whenever you post a request, at that time data will be in some different format. This body parser will help you to convert it into required format. Parser. Okay, body parser. And then next we'll go and create a Express application. Const app is equal to Express. We created application here, and then I'm going to declare a port. If you want, you can declare it here or declare it later, not a issue. Now you can see here, this has given this output. It said that it found no vulnerabilities. 17 packages are looking for funding, 97 packages added. If I go and check in the package.json, I'll be able to see body parser, EJS, Express and MySQL2. So whatever were required, it has installed automatically. And now we'll come here, const port is equal to 3000. Okay, and you need to use app.use. For this we will be using body parser. Okay, dot URL encoded. You see, whenever you send data from the front end, it will be encoded in the form of URL. I'll show you how it will be encoded. Extended true, TRUE, true. Okay, this is the way you need to write this one. And then app.use express dot static. All the static pages will be there in the public, so I am going to declare it. This Express application is going to use public folder. Okay, that folder will be created here, but as of now we'll keep and we'll just ask the Express application to use it. And one more, app.set. This is for using Weave engine. Weave engine is for EJS. All those who are working on front end, they will be using this engine. Whenever they write the application using EJS, that will be embedded using this particular engine. Okay, and these are just, here you will be just declaring it. You need not worry about this much. And now we'll start writing the code. Now I want a database. Now I'll go for database thing. You see, any database that you create, that will be very secure, so it will have some parameters. Okay, I'll just create a variable called db. db means database. I'll take this MySQL variable that I have created here. MySQL dot create connection means I am going to connect MySQL database to my application database. For that I'll be using this symbol. This one will have host. Host means where that particular database is hosted. This is local host, local host. Okay, and then we'll have four parameters for a particular database. One is host, one is user. Okay, for user it is root. In my system it is username is root. In other systems it may be something else. It will depend on what they have named it. And I have not set any password, so I am giving it empty. And then database name, that is school. Just now we have created this particular school, this one, this school. Okay, my database is having these credentials. It is in the local host. It means in this system only I have got my database. I have got root, and this is empty, and school. Got it? Now this will actually create a connection, and we'll check the connection using db.connect. For creating connection will require all these parameters. They must be there. If they are not there, you cannot connect to the database. Okay, err. If there is an error, then we are going to see something. If error, you see this database is having connect function. This function is going to take another function which is having a parameter error. Okay, and I have told you this is an arrow function that I am writing. If I have got an error, it will print this message, console dot error, console dot log, not console dot error. You can use console dot log also, no problem. Database connection failed, means this will tell that database connection failed, and here I will be using error. Means I will know what error has occurred and why I could not connect to the database. And here I will run return. See, whenever you have got a function, you need to return out of that. You will learn this in detail as soon as you start learning data structure programs. Okay, otherwise we will be having console.log connected to database. This is just for our acknowledgement, but first you need to connect to the database, and then it will give you acknowledgement if it is connected or it is not connected. And at the end I am going to listen, app.listen, and here I will be passing port number which I have declared on the top. Maybe yes, I have declared port here. I'll be using that port. And then a callback function. Okay, a callback function. In this I'll just give a message, console.log server is running. Okay, now as soon as I execute this file, I should be able to see database connected to database and server is running. Okay, now if I go here and if I try to execute node server.js, okay, if I click enter, you see it is giving me a error saying that express require. See, it has stopped. So save. Okay, it was not saved. I will go back and execute once. You see, I am getting some error, access denied for user, root at localhost, password no. Okay, so see, server is running but database connection failed, and access is denied for root at localhost. It is saying using password no. Whatever we have written here, there is some problem in this. Okay, and what is the problem, I'll tell you in the next class. But as of now, I hope you understood. You will require some of the details whenever you are connecting to the database. And now we need to identify why database connection could not be established. Maybe there is some password set to the database. We need to identify that. Okay, and we'll try to check whether there is some password. I don't think there is some password. Okay, actually there was a password called as root, and I had forgotten that one. Now I put root. Now you are able to see server is running and connected to the database. You got it? Now you have actually established connection to the database, and which is the most important concept when you are learning full stack development. If you can do this, you can do anything. Connecting to the database is the most important thing. Most of the students will not be able to do this because they make some mistake in writing this code, or like importing some libraries error or something. But now at present we have connected to the database, and if you want to access the data, for that we will have to write simple code. Okay, and for this you will have to write front end also, and I think that I can teach you in the next class because already it is too late. Fine. And I think this was helpful to you. Once again we'll revise it, and we'll go ahead. We'll go and show the data of the database into the front end tomorrow. Got it? If you have got doubt, you can ask me, else you can go. Okay, fine. I think there are no doubts. Tomorrow what we will do, we'll go for the next step. Okay, bye, good night.